Hi everyone, this is Isha, and the Women in IT program we started 3 years back. It's for a lot of things, but basically, the main agenda is to bring women in Australia who are working across the tech sector together, where we can network, we can share our problems, we can share our success stories, and it's just a safe space for all of us to connect. I realized that there's nothing like that within Australian community, so I thought, why not let's create something of our own.
That's fantastic. And it's such a meaningful initiative to build that community and support network. So let's say there are women who've taken a break from the workforce for a few years and now want to re enter tech. What would you say is the first step they should take to get back into the Australian IT workforce?
Yeah, sure. First of all, for my audience, right now I'm talking to a AI agent and she's helping me turn this into more like a live interactive chat, the way we talk to you guys. So thanks to the AI agent for that. Now, a lot of you asked this question that you have taken a break, and it could be for family or any other reason, and you just are concerned how should you go back to your tech industry. So the first thing that I would ask you to think is, what are you want to join back as? So if you are coming from a development or a testing background, it might be more easier to get into the same field because you had a had a break. But you might be comparing yourself with your peers who have moved on, and you might be thinking that maybe I want to be a manager now or a lead now, and you may not get that entry, and that brings in a lot of questions, like about self-doubt and everything. So first thing I would like you to ask is, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? Are you clear with that? Now, because you had a break, my guidance to you would be, start where you left off. Maybe if not for 2 3 years, but at least for a 6 months or a year, and then before you move on or try to move on to a higher level, because this will give you that foundation and that uh, place to prove your skills, re-establish your skills, upskill on the new tech, whatever you were doing, like in testing or in development or any other thing that you were doing. It will help you, enable you to, bring your skills and learn more things before you are ready for the next move. So start with knowing what you want to join back. And another thing I want to say is that I get a call from, like, I talked to some of you, and there was this one girl who had 8 years of experience, but her experience was entirely in India. And then she came to Australia and she had 4 years of break because of her personal reasons. And she was like, so feeling so sad and so down because she felt like she had such a good experience in India and she has lost it. And we just chatted about, and I just guided her. I gave her the confidence that, look, you need to start again from that 8 years of experience, which was a very good experience. And in these 4 years, it's not like you haven't gained anything. You have your communication skills, you have your interpersonal skills, you have your organizing skills. So you are developing those as you grow. Use them as a tool, upskill yourself in whatever you are doing, so that maybe a bit of a certification or something, and start looking up. And 6 months later, I got this happy call from her that, oh my God, Isha, thank you, I got a job. And like, yeah, like, I just knew that she's already good. What she was looking for is a bit of a boost and a push in the right direction.
That's such an encouraging story. And it really shows the power of having the right mindset and a little support. Now, let's touch on something practical for our listeners. When someone's ready to start applying for roles again after a break, how should they approach their resume? Any tips on how they can highlight their skills and experience effectively?
Definitely. So one thing to know is that in Australia, the resume is a bit different than we make in outside countries. the resume here are more appreciated if they are to the point, shorter, like one page or maximum 2 pages if you are more than 10 years experience. Otherwise, one page and a bit more, or just one if you are less than that. And in the resume, it should not reflect what you have done, but if you it should reflect what you have achieved and what you are really proud of, like your accomplishment, your skills, your certifications, your awards, your recognitions, of course, your education, and a small exec summary. So do those things. Make sure that your resume is tailored to the Australian market. Another thing is put your break in there. And in that break, if you were doing any non-IT job as well, like you might be, maybe doing a volunteer work. I did a volunteer in a playgroup when my daughter was going to playgroup. I volunteered as a treasurer and a website developer. You might be doing some digital, like upskilling. You might be just trying your home business, anything. So whatever you are doing, or you might be just on a break, it's okay to put that on your resume, even if it doesn't align with your role that you are targeting. But yeah, just make sure that you're not talking much. There's nothing much to put there because you want to show that you were doing something during those years, but you don't want to put a lot of stress on it, right? So your resume should reflect your achievements, not your day-to-day list, right? So I'll give you an example. Now, if I'm a developer, I am doing a lot of things in my day, like I'm, coordinating with the BAs for user stories. I'm developing applications. I'm doing a bit of testing as well. I might be updating tasks, going through important design meetings and all, which is all okay to put because I'm doing that, right? But that's not my accomplishment. My accomplishment could be that I worked on a big banking project, which had golden database, multiple scalar application and all that. That could be something that I would like to, I'm proud of working on that project. I was an important part of that project. I helped developed, the lead the project and coach the junior developers in my team, and I got recognized for it by my manager. So I would, instead of putting what I was just doing, I am highlighting my achievements on it. So make sure your resume reflects your achievements.
That's brilliant advice. Focusing on achievements over daily tasks really makes a resume stand out. Let's move on to interviews. Once someone gets invited to an interview, especially after a break, it can feel daunting. Could you share a few tips on how they can confidently talk about their break and highlight their strengths during the interview?
Sure. So now, once you know what you want to do, you start applying jobs. Your resume is tailored. You start applying for you start getting interview calls. The first call that you will get is a screening call. Now, this is a very important call. This is where the HR or the recruiting team will just want to talk to you and see where you are that time. And they're looking for a person's exact summary, like, who you are. And they're trying to judge it in just a 5-minute call, right? Who you are, what's your confidence level, whether you will fit in their organizational culture or not, and whether you will be fit for the role. So it's a lot of things they are looking for. So have your elevator pitch ready. Always, when I wanted to come back to IT workforce when I was in Australia, so my journey is I was working in 2019. I came to Australia. I was working for almost 12 years or so. So I joined industry in 2006. You do the maths. And then I tried my own business for 2 years, and that's why I left. I didn't join back IT workforce until 2021. And in 2021, when I decided to join back, I had to be ready with my elevator pitch, and I did mistake. I did give a couple of wrong, screening calls where my voice was low because I wasn't sure how should I put my break in it. I hadn't pitched that. So my tip to you is, first of all, have your elevator pitch ready. Like if I take the same girl's example who had 8 years of experience and 4 years of break, make sure that when you're talking, of course, mention your break, but you're not focusing on it. So like I would say, I am Isha and I have this many years of experience. I have learned these many tools and I have done on project on this. I was working until this year and then I took a break. During the break, I did these things. I'm also now I'm looking back to come into the IT workforce. I'm actually preparing, also brushing up my skills. So I'm preparing for this certification, or maybe I just did recently this certification. And yeah, now here I am ready to get back into the workforce and I'm looking forward to talking more to you about this role. So show your enthusiasm and your confidence and don't focus on the break too much, right? So that's just for the screening call.
That's a great approach. Staying positive, focused on your skills, and showing your readiness is key. Now, let's say someone is also thinking about upskilling during their break or right before they return. What kind of upskilling or certifications would you recommend to help them stand out when they're re entering the IT workforce?
Yeah, that's another good question. So now you know that, first of all, like I said, decide what you want to be. Sometimes you may be confused to, if you were a tester, but you now you want to be a scrum master, or you want to be a developer or some other role. First of all, make up your mind. Don't have two very different resume, one focusing on testing and one on developer or something else, okay? Be very, do your market research. Once you have done that, then for the certification and all, like you know, right, you can do, there are a lot of places you can go back. Let me take you one example. Like you are into testing and you want to be in testing. Like I said, maybe you take my advice for 6 months to 1 year. You want to, start where you left off, come into the testing, maybe a senior role, maybe a mid to senior role, but you want to start from there. uh, do YouTube courses, LinkedIn courses, Udemy courses, right? LinkedIn courses are good because they are just put there in your LinkedIn profile, but nobody's stopping you from putting Udemy or Coursera courses or, any other online portal as well. So make sure they are reflected on your LinkedIn profile as well as on your resume. So it will help you in two ways. It will, of course, it will brush up your skills, very important. You may think that you remember everything, but because we are on a break, and the way mind works, we do tend to forget things, even if we don't want them to, and even if we were very good at what we used to do. So brushing up would help. Then you can take a next step and you can start aiming for a certification. Now, it could be a fundamental basic certification, because you were working, you never thought it's important or you never got the time. Maybe now is the time, or maybe it is a next level certification. If you were into testing and you were into manual testing, maybe you are want to jump into automated testing. So look about, like, API testing skills, look at the videos, and also you can, like I said, you can small start small, start free. YouTube, Udemy, LinkedIn, all these courses are available there. Start from there. And then once you have them there, just build up on that. Look for the certification. If you feel like you're coming from another area, like, maybe you never worked on it, there are also university courses for like 3 months or so, which focus on a particular like skill, like web development. So we have Monash University in Melbourne, we have RMIT, we have, and in SW, I think also you might have. So in every state in Australia we have university courses which are 3 months. They are paid courses. That's an investment there. So that's why I said, first be sure what you want to be. But if you're really serious and if you know you will be there, you can do them. Then there are TAFE courses as well, so you can look at them as well.
That's super helpful advice. Starting small with free resources, then building up to certifications or short courses once you're confident in the direction you want to go. Now, shifting gears a bit, what if someone is transitioning from a completely different industry, like law or healthcare, into IT? What would be your top advice for someone making that kind of career pivot?
I would say, first of all, congratulations. You're doing a very brave thing to come into an industry for which you don't have much experience. I would also say that you will need to know a couple of things. First of all, because you are shifting industry, even though you might have a very good experience in a given industry, you will need to start fresh, right? Not at the bottom, but still somewhere in the lower, like in the, not where you are. That the transition cannot be like this unless you are jumping between manager or leadership roles. Then it's a different thing. So if you're coming for an engineer or an analyst role in tech, that's one thing. You be prepared to start from a bit lower than what you are at in your current environment. Another thing I would like to say, having said that, there are a lot of transferable skills, right? So it's not like you are coming totally blank or empty. You did work there. You have stakeholder management, you have organizational skills, you have leadership, you might be bringing some business knowledge. So if be confident about that. And finally, the third thing, what you can be, how to come into IT industry. So I always see, like, look, if you're coming from a business background, like you were in banking or law or healthcare, becoming a business analyst will be best. Why? Because business analyst needs to have the business knowledge as well as the IT knowledge. They act as a gap between them, but and also they need stakeholder management. They need those tools, but then you are bringing your transferable skills will be a lot more helpful in this role. Another role you can look for is maybe a scrum master or a product owner role, where again you will be bringing a lot of leadership and stakeholder management skills across. So look for those type of roles. But if you are really determined to come into development or automated testing or things like that, that's good as well. It's just that you will need to do a bit more upskilling, more hands-on work, than coming from. So again, we can talk a lot about that as well. But just my tip will be, if you're already experienced in industry for a lot of years, you can always come to a BA or a Scrum Master role. Upskilling is needed, but not as much. You can also come to a more hands-on work like a AI programmer or a Python programmer or a developer or a web developer or a tester. But yeah, the upskilling, the technical intensity is a bit more needed there. But you can always try. Okay, I think so. My AI voice chat time is over. Another thing that I want to share with you all is, if you are starting after university fresh, a lot of people come to me and they say that I'm starting from university and I want to be a BA. It's a good thing. But having said that, for the university people, I would say that, just like I said, for people coming from other industry, it is a bit different. You need to have a lot of stakeholder and communication and other skills which you are still developing on. So for a person who is fresh out of graduate, I would say look at roles like data analyst, AI engineer, AI analyst, and things like that, which has a shortage of skill set in market. That means you will have less competition. They are new technologies, so that means if you don't have experience, it's okay, but no, because nobody has much experience, so the the competition plane is a bit equal, rather than, if you go with the BA, you are competing with a person who might be 12 years experience in industry, right? So try to go for those type of technologies for graduates, where you will be, they are niche, they are new, they need a bit of more hands-on, and don't be scared of coding if you want to come into tech. Look, now we have GitHub Copilot, learn to use it. Coding is an integral part, and it's not tough. I have done coding all my life. Start with some basic applications, just look at a YouTube channel or pick up a Udemy course, start to build with low code. Low code you can always do, right? So start simpler and go deeper. And also, if you're coming fresh out of graduation, you also need to develop this, because you need to stand out of the crowd, right? Not everyone gets hired in their first year. So you need to really stand out of the crowd by doing these type of courses, certifications, getting a bit of deep into one field that you're interested in, so that the company who is hiring you is interested, is um, more, I would say, they can see your enthusiasm because you're not just in a master's, but then you've also done some extra things to make sure that you actually land the job. So that's my guidance. Now, what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna put a flow chart in between this YouTube. I'm going to put a flow chart which we prepared. It's not the end, like it's not like a final one. It's developing. We are learning from each other. We are growing, but it will help you guide about how to get into the tech world. um it just, you just follow the basic. Are you new to industry? Yes, no, what you need to work on, how you need to work on. But yeah, I think I found the AI agent. I might be creating more videos, sharing on our YouTube channel for you all to see. So hopefully I'm able to help some of you. And if you like it video, just let me know. Just give me a thumbs up on the video or let me know personally. You know me. Thank you. Bye bye.